I wanted to start a company for $1. A guy called me up and said, Brandon, you want to get a trucking company? I'm like, heck no. And then he told me the price and I was like, well, okay.
It's time for the Investment Joy Delicious Dollars podcast.
I want to talk about the trucking company I've bought accidentally for $75. I'm sure that's why you're all here, and I don't want to hold off on explaining to you guys because I want it to be in the first 1/3 of the video so people that are watching it on replays get to the meat of the conversation. Quick side note, make sure you do me a big favor and like the video. Also, consider investmentjoy.com because this is going to kind of be wrapped up into investmentjoy.com, what we're doing on the big screen behind me. We're doing a lot of coaching, group calls, training in the background. And this trucking company plays into it, I guess, accidentally. So what I'm trying to do is create content in the background to help everybody. And I had this idea, and we'll expound on it in the podcast here. I wanted to start a company for $1. Those are vending machine dollars. These are washer dryer dollars. I had this whole system. This is what came in over the weekend. These are 20s, 10s, and 5s and everything. Anyway, I was trying to grab a prop dollar. I'm doing a video series in the background of how do I start a business for $1? Because I get these questions all the time. How do you start a business? Brandon, I am dirt poor. I have absolutely no money. How do I start something that I'm going to feel successful and it's going to bring in the money that I want for $1? Because it's like, well, everybody can get $1, or at least most people can get $1. So I decided on starting this video series of what kind of company or business can I do for $1? And this opportunity for a trucking company came to be when I had $75. Now, in the interest, hopefully, a full disclosure, I'm not totally sure it's $1. It could be anywhere from $50 to $150, but the opportunity came as we're shooting this series in the background for Investment Joy on both TikTok and YouTube. A guy called me up and said, Brandon, you want to get a trucking company? I'm like, heck no. And then he told me the price and I was like, well, okay. So that is to say that I'm very easily talked into things. I'm going to go real quick to the chat. We had a super chat with Car Wash Channel Northern PA. I'll have to check that out later. I do watch most of the car wash channels. Kyle say that he hopes he can get a business someday, and I hope you can too, Kyle. Like what I just said a little bit ago, my goal here is to really get you guys started on a business, hopefully for as little money down. And then as time goes on, grow you up into bigger and better investments like real estate, like car washes, laundromats. And that isn't to say that you can't start a laundromat or a car wash with little no money out of pocket. I've certainly done those things relatively straightforward. The whole entire due diligence phase for my 2 car washes took 1 month. And I put next to no money out of my own pocket. So anyway, I'm going to read through these comments super quick, and then we're going to get into the story of the podcast revolving around the trucking company for $75. Rough time to get in trucking. I mean, $75. I mean, I have a lot of people telling me it's a terrible time to get into laundromats, into car washes. The stock market's bad. Real estate's bad. And here I am looking at my companies and they're all up. My car wash, we've had one of the best weeks ever. My real estate business is doing super well. We had the best month ever. That video's not out yet. The best month ever for my laundromat was last month in May. And I think we're on track to either meet or exceed the sales record for the laundromat here in June. We are at week 3, and we've got another weekend coming in to do another collection, and we're already at, I think, 44,000-ish so far for the laundromat this month. So that's pretty cool. So the thing is, you're going to hear people say in the background of any video that I produce or any social media content, it's a terrible time to do XYZ. It's a terrible time to invest in the stock market. Well, if you knew that you were buying Tesla stock, answer this in the comments. We'll do this. We'll do a real quick question. If you could buy Tesla stock today for $100 a share, would you do it? I want to do a real quick poll. Someone asked, how do you find all these businesses? I asked people. It's really weird what happens when you start asking people for things. Like I've got all these business ideas and everybody knows I want to start businesses and do YouTube videos and whatnot. So there's only one answer here in the chat. We've got 50 votes. I want everybody to participate in this poll. It's going to kind of be a great segue, I think, to what we're going to talk about today with the trucking company. Would you buy Tesla stock for $100 a share now? There's only one right answer here. I don't really want the nuance. I just want yes or no. All right, we have 107 votes. Do me a favor, hit the like button. So Tesla stock as of today is $705 per share. Would all of you fine individuals on YouTube be interested in buying something that's worth $705 for $100? And that's the premise of like my video and a lot of the things I do. If you could buy $1 bills for 10 cents, would you do it? And of course I have people that say no. And if you're one of the people that already voted, because I don't think there's any givesy backsies here, if you could buy this stack, let's up the ante. If you could buy a stack of $20 bills for $50, would you do it? There's a gamble here. Would you buy this stack of $100 bills for $200? Probably. Looks like there's 200 here. Would you buy this stack of $100 bills for $300? Ooh, now we don't know. Are there any ones in here that Brandon's hidden in here? Are they fake? Are they prop cash? I get that one all the time. Are they prop cash? But I know that because we just bought we didn't buy a brand new brand new bill counter. I was given one by the factory that makes them. We got a new bill counter. I know there's about $400 in here, but some of you would be able to assess the value of this and say, oh yeah, I would totally offer you $200 for your stack of cash here. The value of these are very ascertainable. The value of stock is a little bit harder. The value of a rundown laundromat is even harder to assess. The value of a rundown car wash is even harder. So 76% of you gave the answer that I would feel is correct, that buying something worth $705 is a good deal buying it for $100. And that's the finite, strict question. And this is the segue to Brandon buys a trucking company for $75. The value of things is subjective, number one. And then number two, a lot of people, 40 or 50 people, would not buy a $700 stock for $100. And I apologize if I worded it incorrectly. But what happens is I find a lot of people aren't able to subjectively value things. That's why I buy so many properties. That's why I have car washes. The 20 hours a week picking up trash for the prior owner of my car washes was subjectively bad. Fixing machines was subjectively bad. Objectively, I think it's worth it to hire a person at $15 an hour to go take trash out. I feel this. The other person does not. The value of a trucking company is subjective here, the value not. So to start off, let me see if I can load up. You're not even going to see the pictures, but I will try. Because what we're going to do is we're going to launch these replays on the Delicious Dollars podcast channel, which we've got 20 or 30 subscribers on there. I want to try and load this picture up on my big giant TV over here. But I want to show you the premise of how I'm buying a trucking company for $75. And once again, buying a trucking company is for $75 is kind of a misnomer. It could be in between $50 and $150. And in this video today, I'm just going to kind of showcase and explain it to you, because what we're going to do at some point is launch a totally free course and kind of document. On one segment, we're going to do videos. Another segment, we're going to do a free sign-up course, things like that, things of that nature. Once again, I'm trying to do too many things and find a picture of my wonderful, amazing, subjective thing. There is a video on my screen of a crap ton of trading cards. And next on the screen is a Kirby vacuum cleaner. You're like, oh gosh, a Kirby vacuum cleaner. These things don't make any sense. Kirby vacuum cleaner. Here's two gigantic steam trunks. What's that have to do with anything? Here's a old-fashioned organ. What's that have to do with anything? Here is I'm walking through, we got a 450-gallon aquarium tank and a 110-year, 120-year-old horse saddle, all leather, super heavy. What's all this stuff have to do? There's the aquarium. What's all this stuff have to do? Oh, what are all these? Here's a picture on my screen of a bunch of vintage games. We're going to do a contest. I'll mail you a $2 bill off the wall. We've got all these bills. We're going to have guests and celebrities sign them, things of that nature. So what do these things have in common? And this is exactly what we're talking about for the trucking company. Okay, old-fashioned games, gigantic aquariums, old horse saddles, old organ, Kirby vacuums. I need more $2 bills. SMG asked me, I don't have enough $2 bills yet. So Kirby, vacuum cleaners, baseball cards, basketball cards, all this different stuff. What do all these things have to do here? And the first thing here, the first answer to what I did is going to be right. Oh, yeah, they're collectibles. That is correct. Nathan Jacobs wins. So Nathan Jacobs, get a hold of me on Instagram or Facebook. I'll send you a $2 bill off the wall. I'll need your address and whatnot. So what do all these things have to do in common? Yes, they're collectibles. But the thing is, with collectibles, the value is subjective. Once again, money has a subjective value to it. It's kind of weird. Like everybody, I've talked to people the past 3 weeks with people in my own personal life, and money's losing its subjective value. Like I said, there's $400 here. They are scared to death of inflation. I'm worried about inflation, but they're scared to death of inflation. And to them, I've had 2 or 3 people in my own life make the statement to me over the past 2 weeks, I don't need money anymore. Money's worthless. I need to buy XYZ. I need to stock up on food. I need to stock up on ammunition. I need to stock up on eggs and canned goods because they're worried that the entire food supply in the United States is going to shut down, which I don't want to address those things. Just don't have enough time for that. I don't have the ability to address that. I am worried about inflation, but the value of these bills in their own personal mind is becoming very quickly useless. They're worried about, a lot of you guys are getting great comments. I appreciate it. So like the video if you have the time. So the value of these dollars is becoming very subjective. So on the screen behind me, I went yard selling with my wife. If you have been following me on Instagram, I think it was on Instagram, maybe TikTok a little bit. My wife lost the ability to walk for a while. And both her and my favorite thing is in the summer is to go and do yard sales. And I told her, I said, honey, I will pay for all of our yard sale fines if you let me shoot a video because I got this idea. I want to take $1. Once again, there's that concept. I want to take $1 bill and I want to trade it into a company. Ideally, I trade it into a house, but I want to trade it into something like really cool. So we went to all these yard sales this summer, or so far. I do yard sales every Friday and Saturday, and I went out and I bought like the craziest, most amazing things at yard sales for, I think about $150 and everything. I've got to figure out where all these things are going to land. So I bought a Kirby vacuum cleaner that's worth, I got the sales receipt for $1,900. I bought it for $75 at a yard sale because to the owner, it was subjectively junk. The Kirby vacuum cleaner they paid $1,900 for is subjectively not useful anymore. The person that has the $500 horse saddle, subjectively not important. They don't have a horse. So they sold it to me for $35. Another individual sold me 2 vintage steam trunks for $30 total. Not a piece total. They're both 120 years old, like transatlantic ship trade stuff. So I bought those for $30 and they're worth like $300 or $400. It's just, I bought these things at yard sales and the idea was I'm going to start off with $1 and I ended up clearing a guy out, a whole entire yard sale for $2, I think, on basketball and baseball cards. Meanwhile, I'm Googling on my delicious cell phone, what are the value of these things? To the seller, they have no subjective value because they're junk. To me as the buyer, they have a subjective value because I can Google, I can research, I can find out what things are worth. So in this process, I am building up a war chest of flipping things back and forth and buying and selling, starting off with $1. And my dollar was initially invested in trading cards. We've traded trading cards up to, I ended up selling either got enough money for the steam trunks or the Kirby vacuum. But we turned the $1 into like $150, $200. I was doing this trading game with my 12-year-old daughter, having her get on my phone, go outside an old pole barn that's, totally metal. I had her Googling the prices of cards on Etsy. Hey, honey, what's a Topps 1991 Desert Storm military card series worth? Oh, these are $15 a pack, Dad. Okay, cool. How much can we get the Desert Storm cards for? $2 a pack or $1 a pack. All right, let's clean them out. Boom. So we spent some dollars on some cards and we ended up with Desert Storm packs worth $15 a piece because the gum is intact. I don't know that anybody really wants to eat 31-year-old gum, but it's in there. So we ended up trading that in back and forth, starting off with $1. And I ended up trading all of this stuff back and forth and build up a war chest of stuff. Like I'm up to like $2,500 to $3,500. And one of the people that works for me called me. Well, he's 18 years old and said, Brandon, you want to start a trucking company? And I said, how much are we going to make? That's my first cost. Not how much is it going to cost, how much are we going to make? And then how much is it going to cost? And who are the roles and responsibilities going to play out? And the proposal was, this truck is great shape. Let me open this up. Once again, you guys are going to have to trust me. Brandon, I'm going to have the responsibilities to run the trucking company. Brandon, I'm going to be your driver. I am going to do all of the work necessary. Brandon, I want to start this trucking company with you because it is, I can address the expenses, but once again, it's the idea of doing something for $1. I could have walked to the yard sales. Could have done that. You guys want advice on how to become a millionaire with $1? And some of you guys, I really don't want people to, not to go down the negative pathway, but there's always going to be people that are going to complain about the $2 in gas that I spent driving my 30 mile per gallon van 2 miles down the road. I could have walked 2 miles down the road to go get those cards, but yard selling with my wife. We're going to be out there anyway. So, there's a carve out for that. So going back to the story about this truck here, this F550, it's not a pickup truck. It's a flatbed. He called me and he said, Brandon, here's what I think we can do. It's got a snow plow with it. The snow plow's $2,500 made out of heavy gauge steel. We can plow lots. And immediately I'm thinking, I've spent $400 a month in the winter paving my laundromats. I spent $500 last year in landscaping to have mulch delivered to my car washes. It came with a snowplow, $2,500. It came with I don't know if you can see that yellow thing there. The yellow thing in the back is a salt dispenser. It takes like a full ton of salt and it dispenses them through the parking lot. Because if you're in a northern state, you got to scrape the ice off as much as you can. The salt lowers the melting temperature of the frozen ice on your parking lot. And then you actually get it and you are able to take it down. So we started figuring out these numbers and we started looking at the hauling because it has a hydraulic dump bed on it, which is absolutely incredible. And long story short, the amount of money that we had to spend to buy the pickup truck, or not the truck, pickup truck, the truck was essentially just a little more than I've got from my yard sale so far. So we're doing this series on in the background and it's a nice 7.3 liter diesel Power Stroke and it's got a really great capacity on it and everything. And it's very interesting what we're able to accomplish in 3 months of me going out there, going to yard sales, buying and flipping things. And I've got a choice now. If we do the video series, I'm going to have to hold on to this truck for a year. We're going to use it to clean out the parking lots. We're going to use it to haul mulch as mulch and gravel and stuff because it can take a 3 or 4 ton payload on it with delivering gravel. Here in Ohio, the norm is for these dually pickup trucks, it's $150 per load or $4 a mile. And I know that everybody realizes that gas is super expensive right now, but the nice thing is, even though this truck gets 10 miles per gallon at $6 per gallon of diesel, it's 60 cents per mile to drive, less repairs and maintenance and things like that. But the gas cost is 60 cents a mile and everybody around here is paying $4 a mile. So the upside is practically $3 per mile that you drive and deliver gravel or mulch or whatever it is right now, because inflation's a thing. But what you find out is with skilled trade businesses, there's plenty of opportunities there. But once again, I've been able to do this through going and buying essentially trading cards at yard sales and doing flipping, buying, selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, not eBay, more Etsy than anything else. And we started off with just a couple dollars, $1 or $2 this summer, and just buying and selling and trading things back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And now we've got this that I got such a good deal on it because I got the truck for $5,000. Once again, after selling all this stuff back and forth, back and forth. But my seed money was maybe $75, a couple of dollars. It's one of those things where I'd have to look on my spreadsheet, but the money that I have in this trucking startup is practically nothing. And it could fail. It could fail miserably. But I've bought an asset. I bought a truck. The Blue Book value on the truck's $12,000 because it has only a little over 100,000 miles on it. And what's interesting to me is here I bought this thing with a subjective value. To me, it's worth $5,000. To KBB buyers, it's worth $10,000 to $12,000. To people who want a snowplow business, it's worth more than that. To the individual that's going to work for me, doing 100% of the labor and the maintenance and the work on it, it's worth $25,000 to him an opportunity because now he has a job or he has a career that he's going to be able to work over the winter now. When, as it stands now, he does landscaping and he's one of my mowers. He has this landscaping business he built up from nothing. And he's now got the ability to make a ton of money over the course of this winter by scraping commercial lots. And what's interesting is he's already in the process now. We bought this truck on Tuesday. He's already approached Walmart to get the contract for them. It's $50K a year, rain, shine, snow or no snow. And I guess he's already hustled and found the person that has the right to do it, or the management authority in Walmart. Now, I'm not saying that he has the ability to get it, but what's interesting is just seeing the hustle applied to this thing that Brandon bought. And we're doing it from yard sale. And I'm going to go to questions here to try to clear up everything because I do appreciate comments and feedback, and make sure you like the video while you're at it. But to kind of address some of the things that we're doing on it, but it's just interesting. What's interesting to me is just, these opportunities are out there if you hustle and you're willing to apply your time on it. I'm obviously doing it for YouTube, so I can totally break even. And yes, it would suck if I came and produced a video and said, hey, we traded all these things back and forth. I made, $5,000 over the summer buying and selling yard sale stuff, only to throw in a trucking company. The trucking company failed. Is that possible? Yes. Is it probable? Not really. I mean, because essentially what I've done is I've bundled up income that I've produced this summer. I bought an asset below what it's worth. Once again, it books for about $10,000 to $12,000. It's a 2000 F550 diesel Power Strokes. It's the 7.3, not the 6. And it's got right around 100,000 miles on it. It's pretty decent. And the KBB value is 10 to 12K. And when I look at what diesels are going for right now, I think I can flip it. I could resell it, and I could make several $1,000s on it next week if I wanted to just flip it and sell it and liquidate the asset. So once again, value subjective. The seller feels great because he got rid of a truck that he doesn't want anymore. He actually told me he's getting into the septic pumping business. And he sold it to me for cash, my yard sale cash, in order to go and get into the sewage business, which is absolutely wonderful, amazing business. I love the sewage business. Some people would say that I'm full of crap, but I like the sewage business. But he feels like he got a benefit on it because he got cash for it. He sold it below what it's worth. I like it because I can start a business with somebody I know. Pretty freaking sure we're going to make a lot of money off it. But if I don't, I can fire sale it for what I have in it. The higher tier, the better concept here is we start a business and I propose to the worker, I want to structure the financing. I want 10% of the income that comes in every time we're setting up a North One account. Here's a pitch for you guys. We're setting up a North One account. So 10% of the money comes back to pay me off. And he's looking at getting 2 to 3 trucking jobs Monday through Friday right now at $100 to $150 a piece. At least that's kind of where we're looking at right now. Just a really interesting concept. And once again, we started buying and selling yard sale stuff, or at least I did, buying and selling yard sale stuff just to flip it and document it for YouTube. Can a person with business experience like me start a business with only a couple bucks? And I'll go read the comments here shortly and do a stream of consciousness because I like responding to comments. But it's one of those things. And as I glance over, the comment section of YouTube is a pretty good window into what people think. 61% of you say it's a good idea. By nature, let me see. I had pie on there as an option. We'll see how many people said pie. Oh, 25% of you said pie. Cool. And the reason I do pie is because you always have to have an option so people can respond to the poll without contaminating the results. You guys are pie is an indifferent response. You answer pie if you want to see what everybody else thinks. It's indifferent response and it's totally fine. So septic businesses are a messy kind of pump and dump. That's absolutely right. I love septic companies. I looked at buying one 4 years ago in MacArthur, Ohio, which is the hills. And the whole entire business was $80,000. I came with 2 trucks. And they were doing $200,000 a year in sales. Their expenses were only about 100, I think. So the business would have paid itself off in 6 to 9 months. I did not buy it because I didn't know anything about the sewage business, but it came with employees and everything. You just had to run the back end of it. So it's just a very, very interesting thing. Stream of thought right here. So what we've done is we started off yard sale stuff. I started with only a couple dollars. We flipped it. I ended up buying like $75 or $125 worth of stuff in my last deal. We made enough money to go in and buy the F550 with a snowplow and everything like that. Why am I holding a stack of money? Because it draws attention. When I get on TikTok, interestingly enough, if I have money, the number of people that watch my stream triples. And here on YouTube, people don't care about money near as much. Here, we'll see it. We have 300 people here. We'll add some more money to it. I've got buckets of money all over here at this place. The 10s aren't too impressive. I've got a lot of 5s here. So it's just one of those things where I have wedged myself, I think, in a position where it's a win-win-win. I mean, best case scenario, I start a trucking company, help create some jobs. I get 10% of the take off of the back and forths and this plowing, the snow, and I get my laundromats and my trailer park and everything. I get everything plowed this winter. That's the best case scenario. The mid case scenario is we don't make money. We sell the asset back for what I have in it. Or we flip the truck and make a little bit of money. That's probably maybe the second tier. Oh, we've got 20 new people because I added the $5 bills to this. Cool. It's just a thing. And I like keeping money around for a prop because once again, I asked, we could ask people on the stream, would you give $200 for what's here? And some of you would say no. Could ask, would you buy these things for $100? And some of you would say yes. Some of you would say no. We already did a poll where 1/3 of my watchers would not buy something worth $700 for $100. Money has a less subjective value. I mean, a lot of people will agree on what the value of a $20 bill is right now. The past 3 weeks, I've run into a lot of people that are so scared of inflation, they are getting rid of their dollars and they're trading in for food and ammunition. And it's not that those things don't have value too. They do. I've done videos on both. I'm pretty sure I've done videos on both. Those things have value to them, but they have the value is kind of subjective. And that's how I've been able to do this trucking venture for like $75-ish, is because I am able to go and buy things that people have a lessened sense of just subjective value, and I mark them up. Once again, it's how I got both car washes, the storage locker facility, essentially how I got all my rentals. It's essentially how I got my laundromat. The laundromat wasn't worth anything. The laundromat was worth $15,000 to a guy. The one I do my videos on, the down payment on was $15,000. And it's just absolutely amazing to me, because when you wedge yourself in there and you figure out how to exploit those opportunities, it's great. Once again, we're starting a 12-month long coaching program at investmentjoy.com called Ultimate Joy. We're doing weekly Zoom calls, and on Thursdays, I'm doing these podcasts, and we're going to talk about money and how I can help you guys start jobs and make some more money. Then after that, these hour-long podcasts, I get on a 30-minute Zoom call with all the insiders. I talk to them directly on a Zoom call, how to start their business. And we've also got 200 or 300 videos of content up there, hours and hours and hours. So it's just an interesting concept. I'm going to go to the comments here in a second, which is pretty neat, pretty cool. So I'm going to go to the comment section. Hopefully they're pretty good. I want to see how many people responded to my trucking company. 13% of you. So that's probably 25 people say it's a bad idea. And maybe you think I want to lose money. Maybe you think I'm stupid. Reading through the comments, there's obviously quite a few people here that think I'm stupid and they don't like the content that I do, which is fine. Whatever. I realize that my channel's not for everybody. But what's kind of problematic, and it's the reason I really like these podcasts, I really want to do this content on trucking companies and things like that, is because I really wish that there was somebody out there when I was 15 years old that would have said, hey, Brandon, you should learn about accounting. You can make a lot of money off if you know how to run Microsoft Excel and how to do books, how basic accounting works. Because once again, if you guys have watched some of my content, I ran a paintball business. Had my paintball business have been successful, I would have been a multimillionaire probably by 21. And even though my family's super poor, I would have done that because I could have identified that one part of my business was making $40 an hour at 16 years old, and the other business make me $2 an hour. And as a silly 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid, I picked the $2 an hour thing over the thing that was making me $40 an hour. And the $40 an hour idea was scalable. The $2 an hour idea was not, which is insane. If you run a business, you're like, why wouldn't you grow why on earth would you not grow something scalable that makes you $40 an hour now? And, you do it. And it's just because I couldn't identify what it is. I have a question about any accounting classes you can recommend. Just YouTube videos. Watch these live streams. There's a pitch for my own content. Go figure that. Because I've got some pretty decent, I think, Microsoft Excel videos. But if you want to do like trial by fire, in Brandon's opinion, what I would do is get on loopnet.com and find a business where you can download the books. And then what I want you to do, or what I would do, is run the books and learn how their accounting works. And then figure out whether they're liars or not. Then take a look at financing that deal. There's hundreds, thousands, millions of businesses out there for sale. Probably not millions, but thousands of businesses out there for sale that have their books publicly available, and you can find out what they're making in or what they're lying about. And for me, once I got in real estate and I started evaluating how do rentals make money, I found it really quick in 2006 when we were at the height of the real estate market that rentals were not making money, because you could not buy a rental to save your life that was listed and be profitable on it. They were making 6% in rural Southern Ohio. Like 6%, that's stupid. And I initially was really turned off by rentals. I didn't understand how anybody could make any money. Then I helped my brother. I went in with my brother and we bought a rental for $500 down using a LIAR loan, a all-day subprime finance loan. Bought it for $500 and it's been making a couple $100 a month since 2007. And it's just a very interesting thing. But what happened was I started talking to investors that had bought rentals in the previous cycle, and they were showing me the math of, I bought this house for $100,000. It makes brings in $12,000 a year, so that's a 12% gross return rate. My expenses are XYZ. I spend $2,500 a year in maintenance, and I didn't understand any of those numbers. But I started playing around with Microsoft Excel, or at least a calculator, or writing them down on a piece of paper. And I started doing the numbers. I'm like, wow, if I could buy a $100,000 duplex, and my mortgage payment's this, the income's this, I could actually make $3 or $4 a year buying a rental property. And then as time went on, it's like, I didn't find content out there that really, really educated me super quick. What I did was I started analyzing profit and loss statements. And I started going out and looking at properties on the MLS and saying, this is a 3-bedroom 2-bathroom home. I can rent for $1,100 in this subdivision. Let's go figure out what the taxes and the insurance are. Let's go figure out what a mortgage payment would be. Let's go drive around and see how bad of shape is it in. Oh, it needs a new roof. Probably $7,500 on the new roof. And then I'll include that in. Can we get a mortgage for it? And it's one of those things that's really interesting where I just got really passionate about the idea of not being poor anymore. And I started doing those numbers over and over and over again to where I'm kind of at this point in life where I do the numbers in my head. A lot of the times they're pretty accurate. I had on our Ultimate Joy, no, actually it's Business Joy, on our Ultimate Joy coaching program, 12 months of intense training at investmentjoy.com. See, that's a pitch right there. When I sat in a classroom for 30 minutes with not a hedge fund guy, but a fund manager. And we were sitting back and forth talking about numbers. And this guy is like Mensa guy, just the numbers that he was going out was, he could tell you what 13.2% gross cap rate on a property. And then he was calculating the taxes and insurance. He knew the debt service payments off the top of his head, and he got it to within $5. Like just boom, 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 boom. I can't do that, but I could get close. Like, I can get within $50, which is good enough. You're talking to somebody, you're standing on the street and you're walking down and someone says, I effing hate this house, which I've had happen on a live stream before. I effing hate this house. I want to sell it right now. Well, Mr. Mrs. Lady, crazy person on the street, how much do you want for this house? Oh, I don't know. How many bedrooms does it have? 5 bedrooms. How many bathrooms does it have? 3. Has it ever been a duplex? Yes. Okay. $1,400 a month off that place. Okay, $1,400 a month times 12 months a year. It's like what, $16,000 taxes and insurance. That's going to run me $200 a month. Okay, we're at $1,200 a month. I can get financing on it. I can call up my landlord that evicted me when I was 6 years old. He'll finance it with 12% interest any day of the week. Okay, so if I pay the person $50,000, that's going to be $500 a month. So now we're down to $800-ish a month I can make off of it. Yeah, I'll give you $50,000 for it. So I can do the numbers quickly enough off the top of my head to say, hey, I'll give you $50,000 for this house. And I can kind of structure and plan the deal in my head. And it's like, but once again, I also failed algebra when I was 15, 16, 17 years old with a D average education. So we're gonna go to the comment section here real quick. We got 15 minutes before I've got to go home. So if you have a question and I haven't got to it, please ask me again. And I'll read it through. I'm like, why am I holding the 20s and the 5 like that? We talked about inflation and how people on the chat would not buy these $20 bills for a couple $100. Because I asked 300 people on the chat, would you buy a share of Tesla stock for $100? They said no, even though Tesla's, not all of them. Some people said no because, I guess they didn't say why, but some people said no. They would not buy a $700 share of Tesla stock for $100. So I'm talking about the value subjection of money, and I'm holding it up because it keeps people on the live stream. How old am I? I'm 36. You love playing the money game all the time. Respect. Cool. Money is a very interesting thing because so many people spend their entire life trying to get more of it, and they don't realize that you can make investments, you can make your money go to work for you, and money is a terrible master of your life. So, and people get this attachment to having material stuff. $75 for trucking company. Yes. So what you can do is go to your YouTube feed, hit the save for later button, because we're going to delist the video from my public channel. But what you can do is if you save this video for later, you click that button, you can come back and watch it anytime. So you can watch the stream again, and it'll explain to you how the $75 trucking would work. So I have a question. Would I ever buy a property in Texas? Absolutely. I've been kind of looking for a Airbnb in Austin, Texas, because I really liked it. I like Texas. Let me put it that way. Austin is where all the YouTubers are moving to, and I would really like to do that. I'm good at talking money, but do you take any vacations, enjoy your fruits of your labor? Yeah, I'm getting my company to pay for vacations. I am doing thank you, Chilling Willie. I am doing a Eastern States tour. We're going to Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida later in the year, and I'm getting my company to pay for everything. Or I'm taking it as mostly as a tax write-off. Because when you run a business, you can take vacations and you can write them off your taxes if you are doing it on a business venture. So I can't encourage you enough to start a YouTube channel of your own. Become an Instagram influencer. You could take pictures of your vacations and you could make some money off of it and then write at least part of it off your taxes. I'm not a CPA, but I have friends that are ones. So R1, I said R1s. There's my hillbilly coming out. Would I buy 5+ multifamily in Cleveland? You like the high caps rates, but you're nervous about Cleveland. There's a guy on YouTube named James Wise. He knows about all of the good and bad parts of Cleveland, and he kind of just generally understands what to do. What do you think about tax sales? Do anything about snow plowing? Do I know about snow plowing? Yes. Well, I'm going to find out soon enough. What do I think about tax sales? You can do very well on tax sale if the property is good. Don't get enamored, because I bought a place on a tax lien sale and it was absolute garbage. It was insane. In this live stream, if you just watch a replay, it explains to you how I bought a trucking company for $75. And the $75 is just some nice number I could throw out. It's going to be anywhere from probably $50 to $150, $175 is what I spent for the trucking company. And TLDR, we're going to use this up here in a trucking company. Any idea how much my public plus private investments have delved in the value in the past 3 months? My real estate portfolio has not gone down at all. My car wash and laundromats have gone up in value because we've increased the total cash flow on them. So my return rate's going up. My total stock portfolio on the year to date's down 7-ish%. But if we would look at my stock portfolio, including 2020, I'm up 98%. This year to date's down. My 1 year window is down, but my investments did so freaking well in 2020 and the first half of 2021. I'm up still 95%. I could tell you right now what they are. My stock investments tend to do pretty well, but I am not like I'm like Graham Stephan on my investing. I like ETFs and very boring crap. 95.31% is what I've done so far. Do I think there's going to be a housing crash? Some people bearish, some are bullish. I think you're going to see localized crashes. There's areas that are just so oversold, overbought. No one has the jobs in the area didn't make sense. The pricing doesn't make sense. But there's areas like my place in Ohio, in my opinion, it's like I can still get a house for $150,000. Easy. Why, with my area having a net surplus of 50,000 jobs, there's 50,000 job openings in my area. Why are we going to have a housing crisis when someone can go get a job at a warehouse or up north in my county and a single person can make $21 an hour if you show up for work on time? So showing up at work on time, you can get a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house in my area, my region, Central Ohio. If that's the economics of it, what's going to cause a decrease? I listed a house, 3 weeks ago. We listed a house 3 weeks ago. I had an offer the first day I listed it, $7,000 over asking price. We closed on it in, I think, 2 weeks. This economy, as everybody's concerned about crashes. I bought the house for $23,000. Oh yeah, there's a short about it. I bought it for 23. I put 7 in it. I sold it for 97. So is it inflated compared to 5 years ago? Yeah. 10 years ago? Yeah. Is it inflated compared to the 06 bubble? Yes. How's the job market looking? A lot better. So your market is going to have a lot to do with your real estate crash as compared to what the national numbers say. Someone says, I should have bought stocks like you because you never lost near 100% of your profit since last December. Did you buy meme stocks or did you buy ETFs? I've got a really cheap and easy stock course coming out, and it's where I send you nasty text messages every week about, did you buy a meme stock? And the answer needs to be no. And if you don't respond no on my nasty texts, it's going to say, I'm going to send somebody to your house and complain to you. But the problem is with investing is everybody gets in on the hype train of different stocks like GME and AMC and stuff. And those companies are scared. They're scary. We have a guy on my YouTube channel. We've talked about him a little bit. He made $500,000 off GameStop. And I begged the guy, please, you made $500,000, sell it. And he did sell it. I said, stop what you're doing and put it in the bank or some bonds or something really boring. Do not touch that because you made a once in a lifetime trade. He maxed out a credit card. He had $20K credit line on a credit card. Maxed out his credit card, bought GameStop, made $500,000. And it was obvious to me that he didn't have a huge understanding about how taxes and finances work. So I begged him, just stop what you're doing. He told me that I should watch him turn his $500,000 into $5 million because he could retire at 18 years old. And unfortunately, he's not responded to any of my DMs since then. I'm pretty sure he lost everything. And I had somebody that knew the guy said they lost everything. And the problem is, you can make money once in a great while trading stocks. And what there is a huge survivorship bias on those kinds of stocks. But here I am. I can sit here. The only meme stock I'm in is Tesla. I'm pretty public about that. And that is not my top, I guess it is my top holding by value right now, just because it's gone up so much. My second biggest holding is VOO, the Vanguard S&P 500. I am up 60.5% on that one. Not too bad. That's as of today. And today I lost, I was up 1% today. So on my Vanguard, I'm up 60%. On VTI, I'm up 50%. I picked this is a small fraction. This is 8% of my whole entire portfolio. I picked 6 good, strong real estate investment trusts. They are up 109% as of today. So it's just one of those things. And once again, it's why I like buying businesses, and why I like buying real estate is because you can go in and subjectively, remember when I brought the money out, we're talking about the subjective value of things. Most people will agree on the value of these $20 bills, and they're not prop cash. It's just $20 bills from my last laundromat collection. It's pretty cool. Most people will agree that these $20 bills are worth $20. But when it comes to stocks, a lot of people out there will agree to the value of things, of the stocks. What's the value of the S&P 500 or VOO or VTI? People will agree on those. But when it comes to things like businesses, things you actually have to put work into, things like real estate, where you have to put some value into them, like it varies. There's this huge level of subjectivity. And then it gets even worse when there's so much information out there where you can improve those things. And for me, if I could buy $20 bills for $5 or $10, which I do in real estate all the time, if I could buy $20 bills for $10, I would buy them all day long. But that's not how it looks like in real estate. It looks like buying a $100,000 house that needs $20,000 of work for $50,000. And then you buy it for 50, you put 20 in it, and then you've got a $30,000 upside on it. Yeah. So why do I keep buying and building debt instead of just stop paying everything off first? Because I don't want to. People that look and watch the debt shows, like anti-debt shows, which I get it. My family was in tons of credit card debt growing up. It made us poor. That's consumer debt. That's you buying stuff, trying to live above your means. Meanwhile, I'm in a little over $2 million worth of real estate debt. Almost all of that debt, I paid off some of my bank loans last week. When we just sold a house last week. Of that $200,000 I have in debt, or sorry, not $200,000, $2 million in debt. Of the $2 million, I've only personally signed for probably $350 of it now, $350,000. So when we look at my debt, I owe $1.7 million. My companies owe $1.7 million. If I go bankrupt, are they going to come take my house? No. Are they going to take that business that failed? Yes. Is it going to hurt my credit score? No, it's not. If I can draw down on so much of my portfolio that it's not going to hurt me. I've got like 10 properties in something called a core portfolio that I have. I got 10 properties in a core portfolio that are totally paid off. So if I have to, they're sitting in an LLC, I can restart with that LLC. So if I had the option between growing fast and getting a lot of profit really quick and growing really slow, and knowing that my slowness would be confined by booms and busts, like I can't fit in the boom and bust cycle. I could not save up enough money to buy a house in this market, cash. I would have to get financing, and sitting it out, it sucks. I know people that have been sitting on the sidelines since 2010 wanting to get in real estate because they're trying to save up cash, and they've just never been able to save up cash. Meanwhile, I can use debt to accelerate my trajectory. And I've said this again, all debt does is it accelerates your trajectory. If you are going upwards and you're on a good flight path, debt's going to increase your speed of flying. If you're on a down path and you are bad at managing your money, you're bad at handling your expenses, and you're not good at managing your money, then debt's going to crush you because you don't know what you're doing. All debt isn't bad. And then there's ways to structure debt to where it's not really your debt, it's your company's debt. You can start an LLC. Justin Smith's on this chat. He's one of the guys that's helping me out with Ultimate Joy. Take a look at Ultimate Joy at investmentjoy.com. Schedule a call with my team, and you get a free 30-minute call to talk about your goals and how we can help you. But Justin, I think he's done this on a couple companies now. He can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like 6 months to start an LLC and get $250,000 in funding that you don't personally sign for. So if things go bad, you're not responsible for it. How much cash do you get started in real estate today? I don't know if you watched my last 2 real estate videos, but I bought houses for $250. I bought those in 2017, and probably just for YouTube's sake, I probably should go out and buy some more places for $250. They take a lot of work. Be clear, if you're not putting money into a deal, typically you're going to put a lot of work into it, which is fine. You're broke, you're poor, you don't have any money. Use your time. You've got money. You've got a lot of money, but not a lot of time. Use your money to buy somebody else's time. But it's a lot of it isn't confined by how much money do you have. It's how can you structure a deal? Like on the low end, and we talk about this on investmentjoy.com with the course material I have, you could do the no money deals. You could go do a USDA loan. You could go and do a master lease with an option. You could go out and do a private money mortgage. You could go out and start a fund. You could go, there's probably some more. Just all the sorts of financing deals that require no money out of pocket. Then the next step up is do an FHA loan. Do an FHA house hack with 3.5% down. Do that. You want to do the traditional route? Well, save up for cash. Well, who's going to do that? That'll take a lot of time. So I'll read comments real quick and I'll have to get up. So Palmer stock grew. When you've won the game, stop playing means you won, quit. So buy boring assets. There's a lot of money in boring assets. You can buy both. You can buy exciting assets and you can buy boring assets at the same time. The exciting assets pay off, like my Tesla. I'm on M1 Finance over here. I'm up 1,326% on Tesla. I don't know if that's enough to retire, but it's pretty cool. You can do both. You can buy businesses, you can buy laundromats, you can buy car washers, you can buy storage locker facilities on one end, and then you can put money in the stock market, do something else, you can buy bonds, whatever. So I got 1 minute left. I'll answer questions. Make sure you check out investmentjoy.com. If you're interested in talking to somebody on my team, you can schedule a free 30-minute call. And we've got all this content in the background about how to do laundromats, car washers, real estate stuff. And then on the front end, I'm working on some totally free courses right now to help people started. If you only have $1 or $2, how do you start a business? Because if you have some money, just a little bit of money, it makes sense to get some training on how to buy real estate with little money down, how to buy a laundromat, car wash with little money down. That's what we've kind of done. So I'm going to try and read comments, and then I'm going to go off. I'm hazardous. Now I'm going to scroll it back just a little bit. Rob asked a question, do I have staff to work at the laundromat? Yes, I do. Am I the absentee operator? Yes, I am. I go and collect money and do YouTube videos. John Zicki, I hopefully said that right. When you won the game, stop playing means if you won big, quit, and buy boring assets. I think I addressed that one. I think you should be buying more boring assets anyway. You should take some of your money that's coming in and put it in bonds. Conquesto says, our family has $80,000 total cash. What do you think would be the best avenue forward business? You're leaning towards laundromats, but you're seeing for sale. What do you look for businesses? That's a long question. We approach currently operating poorly laundromats, and then we find a way to take them over. I do that with kind of car washes too. The best businesses are not for sale. And if you need some coaching and training, investmentjoy.com is there for you. You have a few bucks, you don't have any deals. There's deals all around. I did a story on YouTube 2 years ago about the guy that started the landscaping business for nothing. He went around town, found somebody that was willing to give him a mower, used the free mower to mow that person's lawn for the rest of the summer. Used that mower that they got for free by mowing the lawn to mow other people's lawns at $20 per lawn. Started a landscaping company with no money out of pocket. That's a real easy story to understand, I think, right? Because the old lady had gas anyway. It's less about your financial position and it's more about what do you have up here and can you hustle? Do you have time? Do you know what to do? I talk to people all the time, thousands of people a week, let's say. Like, I don't have enough money to start a business. Like, you could mow lawns with a barred lawnmower. You start a hauling company by borrowing your friend's truck. I mean, there's a lot of ways to do it. You just have to figure out how to do it. So I'm going to read a couple more comments and we're going to get off. You're 17. I'm Hazardous says, you're 17. What's the best thing to bring into your future? Should just working for soft skills like Excel. Should try to open a business. You should do all of the above. Learn some Excel. Start a little business. I don't care what the little business is. Could be vending machines. Could be a laundromat. Could be flipping yard sale stuff. Do it all. Do I find that people are angry? Yes. And I guess I get, Richard Clare says, do I find people are angry? I do pretty often. I think it's because I fixate on negative comments more so than positive comments, because I usually feel like people that make really negative comments have had something bad happen to them in their life, because that's how everybody I know growing up was. They're like, oh, the rich are rich and you can never succeed in life. So you need to go work at the factory for $30,000 or $20,000 a year, and that's the best you'll ever do because you can never do better. And it's like that, they're still very negative. And I talked to one of my friends growing up, and he's in the trucking business too. And he's like, man, the people that we knew growing up have really bad mentalities. I'm like, you're right, Caleb. They do. You actually, how many businesses do I now? With a trucking company, I guess that's 9 or 10. ROC versus WAC says you have 10K euros saved up. No real estate can be bought with that money. So you pretty invest all of it in stocks, deep, OTM, put options. I think that's a terrible idea. No offense. I hate options trading. I think that you have only a 1 or 2% chance of doing very well in them. I don't know any rich option traders, not a single one. And if you're a rich options trader, you want to send me a DM on Instagram and tell me I'm wrong, that's fine. It's just that everybody I talk to that's successful in options is selling a course. Omari says, your software engineer, is anything you can do to automate for you? Yeah, sure. Get on Discord. I'll post a link on the replay of this video to my Discord if you want to get on there and talk to our team. Due to sky-high inflation in Poland, you can no longer afford cucumbers. I've seen the cucumber jokes. Is the dollar going to collapse? I don't think so. I motivate TC 305 Records a lot. I'm glad I do. That's a great comment. I appreciate it. Why don't I open up a restaurant? Have I thought about it? Yes, I have. I've got 3 or 4 restaurant concepts I'd like to do on YouTube. I've got a couple bigger YouTubers. I've asked if they want to come to town with me and start a restaurant together, and they kind of said yes. So how can you save on buying a used semi truck? I would have to research it, but the easiest ways to find the most used listings out there, which could be like Facebook Marketplace or however Auto Trader, whatever they use to buy, make offers on 100 semis, offer half price. Somebody's going to say, screw you, but I'll sell it to you for 65%. They need money now. So, all right, guys, I appreciate every single one of you. We're going to have to get really creative here because I'm broadcasting this on my brand new i9 PC build. And the problem is, I guess, I don't have my Stream Deck over here to terminate the stream. So I'm going to unplug my battery.